What if I told you that there's a place where no one follows the rules, where entire teams of e-commerce sellers work 24/7 to game the world's largest online marketplace? Welcome to China South City, Shenzhen's hidden technology underworld, the global capital of Amazon black hat tactics. In the same city that produces the world's cutting-edge smartphones and computers, an even more fascinating ecosystem thrives. A network of Chinese sellers, marketers, and supply chain experts who've turned defeating Amazon's algorithm into a multi-million-dollar industry. These aren't random kids either. These are sophisticated professionals running operations more complex than some legit tech companies. This building here, called China South City, is where nearly all of China's largest Amazon sellers have an office or once did. Inside, you'll find teams capable of generating thousands of authentic-looking reviews within hours, algorithms designed to manipulate product rankings with precision, and an entire economic infrastructure built to exploit every loophole in Amazon's system. In this video, I'll give you a tour of China South City, discuss the latest in how Chinese sellers are manipulating the platform, and the state of selling on Amazon in China. But first off, what is China South City? China South City is a large-scale logistics and trade hub in Shenzhen, China. It is the go-to spot for wholesale trade, manufacturing, and distribution, where e-commerce businesses have an all-in-one place for sourcing, logistics, and developing products. Now, to give you an idea of how big this place is, it is over 1.1 million square meters, which is about 205 football fields in size. Now, why is this place important? China South City is basically the capital of the world for Chinese Amazon sellers and the heart of where all the manipulation and black hat tactics that I talk about on my channel originate from. Almost every major Chinese e-commerce seller has had offices in this building, including one you may have heard of called Aki, which was making over $750 million in revenue before Amazon cracked down on them in 2021. Now, as you know, Chinese sellers have been dominating Amazon, Etsy, Walmart, and eBay for quite some time now, and it's not just about black hat tactics. Their success is largely thanks to incredible hubs like China South City, which the Chinese government has set up to support sellers and make it easier for businesses to thrive. Now, these hubs benefit from government grants and subsidies built on the idea that bringing a community of e-commerce sellers together in one place encourages them to share strategies, learn from each other, and grow stronger as a group. Now, you all know that I've been running an annual e-commerce conference called the Seller Summit for the past 9 years, and it's a place where we share the latest strategies and connect with other top sellers. The only downside is that it's only once a year. Now, imagine a place like China South City where every single day is like the Seller Summit. There, hundreds, if not thousands of sellers work together daily, trading tips on things like getting the best shipping deals, ranking number 1 on Amazon, or even taking down top competitors. Meanwhile, most American sellers are out there on their own, trying to figure it out all by themselves. Thanks to help from the Chinese government, it's not even close to being a fair fight. Now, I've known about China South City for a long time now, but recently, my buddy Dave Bryan of Ecom Crew got to actually tour the building. I'll include a couple of clips of his tour here, but I encourage you to check out his full video linked below as well. It is fascinating. Now, on the surface, China South City looks like your typical shopping mall filled with high-end brands. But once you make it to the top floors, you'll find where all the Amazon sellers have their offices. These floors are like ground zero for the products you see on Amazon, Walmart, Temu, and even Etsy. The hallways are packed with boxes, pallets, and crates, all waiting to be prepped and shipped to Amazon FBA. But the strange part about this building now is that it's mostly empty. Back when I first heard about this place, it was packed to the rim with the largest Amazon sellers in the world, but now it's almost like a ghost town. This is because several years ago, Amazon suspended a bunch of the largest Chinese sellers for review manipulation. In May of 2021, a website by the name of Safety Detectives uncovered a 7 gigabyte database of direct messages between Amazon sellers and customers willing to provide fake reviews in exchange for free products, and over 200,000 sellers were exposed. The scheme was straightforward. Chinese merchants sent people a list of products that they wanted 5-star reviews for, and then these reviewers would buy the items, leave glowing reviews a couple of days after receiving them, and then send the seller a message with a link to their Amazon profile and their PayPal details. The seller would then verify the review, refund the purchase, and let the reviewer keep the product. And this strategy was happening on a massive scale to the tune of tens of millions of reviews per year. Anyway, after ignoring review manipulation for years, Amazon finally took action, suspending a massive number of Chinese sellers. And almost overnight, major Amazon sellers operating out of China's South City had to lay off employees and shut down operations. Even huge players like Awkey, MPow, and RavPower, nine-figure sellers, saw their revenues drop by over 80%. And what's hilarious is that these sellers were outraged at Amazon's actions. You can't suspend me. I'm the number 2 seller on Amazon. I make hundreds of millions of dollars per year. Well, apparently, Amazon can do whatever the hell they want. Chinese sellers were also angry because they felt that they were being unfairly targeted because they were from China. But if you look at the data, most of the review manipulation was from Chinese sellers. By the way, if you're interested in learning how to sell online without Amazon, make sure you sign up for my free 6-day e-commerce mini course below. It's 100% free, and I guarantee you'll learn a lot. Anyway, what's fascinating about China's South City is that many of the once bustling office spaces are now being converted into studios for live video selling. Check out this clip of a warehouse that's being transformed into a makeshift studio. Right now, live selling is huge in China, with influencers absolutely dominating online. After the Amazon fake review crackdown and several high-profile scandals, Chinese consumers have started to lose trust in big platforms, and instead, they are turning to influencers who are seen as more authentic and trustworthy. This shift has fueled the rise of influencer-driven sales and the explosion of live stream commerce in China. Zhang Zhang is a popular figure on Douyin, which is the Chinese version of TikTok with over 5 million followers. Her 9-to-5 job is showcasing and selling products while live streaming. And in just 7 days, she pulled off an incredible $13.7 million in sales, moving a jaw-dropping 10 million products in the process. And what's even crazier is that she literally spends just 3 seconds showcasing each product to her viewers and then slides them to her side while her assistant hands her the next item. Now, the whole premise of her strategy is that within a short time frame, you have to decide whether or not you want the product. Otherwise, it gets sold and you'll never see it again. All these cheap items are packaged in luxury colored boxes that look like the ones from the fashion brand Hermes and rely on your FOMO to generate sales. And the first time I saw these videos, I couldn't believe it, but she's killing it. And right now, everyone is hopping on the live streaming bandwagon. According to e-commerce insights, live streaming e-commerce is seeing a huge expansion in China, with the market size increasing from $61 billion in 2019 to $695 billion in 2023, and projections indicate that it could reach $1.13 trillion by 2026. Live selling is a place where most of the e-commerce dollars are flowing in China because Amazon, in their eyes, is now too risky. Chinese sellers are also flocking to platforms like TikTok and marketplaces like Temu. And honestly, I am pretty shocked by the excitement around Temu. To me, it's like the dollar store of e-commerce, and I would imagine that it's much harder to make money there compared to Amazon because the margins are so slim. But for now, that is where the trend is heading. That said, don't get me wrong. There are still plenty of Chinese sellers thriving on Amazon, and black hat tactics are still very much alive. Recently, I've been getting a ton of questions about the 60% tariffs that Trump is threatening to implement in the US. But most Chinese sellers are not worried about it at all. And why is that? Well, this isn't the first time that Trump has floated tariff threats. He did the same thing back in 2016 during his last administration. To avoid paying tariffs and taxes, many Chinese sellers rely on customs duty manipulation. This can include underdeclaring the value of goods, using false HS codes, or other creative methods to dodge the fees. Now, how can they get away with this? First off, Chinese sellers know that the Customs and Border Patrol is already overwhelmed. With the latest proposal to remove the de minimis exemption and charge taxes for packages worth less than $800, the CBP is going to be way in over their heads with the sheer volume of packages they now have to check. But even if a Chinese seller is caught with manipulation, there's very little for them to lose because the US government can't technically seize the assets of Chinese companies like they can for US companies. In the worst case scenario, if a Chinese company gets banned, they can just start a new Chinese company. So literally, there is zero risk for a Chinese company to cheat the system. Meanwhile, black hat tactics are still running rampant on Amazon. Just last week, a $78 million brand called Key Babies, run by Ivan Ong, was hacked by a malicious Amazon seller. Despite Amazon's repeated attempts to reinstate his account, it kept getting hacked almost immediately after his password was changed. No computer viruses were involved, yet the hacker managed to breach the account repeatedly with alarming ease. And as of right now, Ivan's account has been hard-locked, which has at least prevented the hacker from changing the email again, but it's been 7 days, and Amazon still hasn't identified how the hacker was able to gain access so quickly and repeatedly. Even worse, Amazon is struggling to reset his account and is not confident that it will be safe from future hacks even after the restoration. In the meantime, every day Ivan's account remains down, he is losing $230,000 in daily sales. His team of 80 employees is now stuck in limbo with their jobs and livelihoods hanging by a thread. It is a cutthroat world on Amazon, and I've seen it all firsthand. I've been selling online for 18 years now, and one thing is clear. History keeps repeating itself. Marketplaces always start out great. Amazon, for example, was fantastic back in 2014. But then like clockwork, a flood of Chinese and other low-cost sellers come in, flooding the platform with cheap knockoffs and ruining the experience for everyone. This isn't new. It's happened with eBay back in the day, it's happened with Amazon, it's happening right now with Walmart, and even Etsy took a huge hit after opening up their marketplace to Chinese sellers in 2022. The only way to fight back is to build your own brand on your own website and focus on selling high-quality products. Create a reputation for your brand that stands for quality and trust. The reality is, most Chinese sellers think short-term. They'll find something that works and exploit it using whatever tactics, black hat or white hat. They need to make money immediately. Because for them, it's all about the quick win because they see the money as temporary. If you want to stay in this game for the long haul, you need to focus on building a brand. Now that you understand what's happening in China, make sure you check out this video here for more strategies to outsmart Chinese sellers.